You're not sure what it is, but you bet it would look cool spewing through the propellers.
No shirt, no shoes, no service.
Well, this is kinda hard to explain.
Sucking on a bottle of mustard doesn't seem to satisfy your hunger. Sucking on a bottle of ketchup doesn't seem to satisfy your hunger no matter what the government thinks.
Some people think I taste oily. I don't think so. Do you?
Go ahead, take a big lick of old Mr. Mustard. You'll be sorry.
I am the best little condiment you ever tasted. You know I am, really. I'm not kidding, I am.
No other characters, no conflict, no puzzles, no chance of dying, and no interface make this the easiest to finish game yet. Just boot it up and watch it explode.
Hey there everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Matt, and we're continuing the playthrough of Space Quest 4 on my very first computer that I built, a 486DX280. Where we left off is we're in this little nest thing here. The Eagle dropped us off and also dropped off the sequel policeman, who's kind of got impaled unfortunately. So now it's time to head out this little exit thingy here. Luckily, we found that deep water we observed earlier.
You've got a lot of nerve coming back here, Roger Wilco. After leaving me the way you did, you male scum. This is the last woman you'll ever dump on. Right, girls?
Right.
Said you couldn't be tied down.
I said that?
You said you had to be free to roam the galaxy.
Was that me?
You'll be sorrier than you look. We'll see to that.
Yeah.
Into the sub, fly boy.
So somehow Roger has gone from, you know, this bumbling fool idiot type thing in Space Quest 1, 2 and 3 to, you know, meeting these like really pretty girls and basically then dumping them. So very strange, but hey, there we go.
She looks like she might be familiar to you someday. However, the gun in her hand looks like it could limit the chance of any lasting relationship in the future. Or the past.
Again, the commentary is on point here. So we got to get in the sub. If you try and run away, you just get harpooned.
Say, there's an odd-looking specimen. You hope these women soon realize that they must have the wrong guy.
So while we're cruising in the sub,
The propellers thrust the small sub deeper and deeper into the dark tunnel.
we can also click on stuff.
You're not sure what it is, but you bet it would look cool spewing through the propellers.
And
This is Zandra. We are approaching checkpoint 6. Prepare to open the tunnel door. Activate the door.
Okay. I always found the kind of the ripples of the water here in the sub always looks really cool. Again, the realism for 1991-92 is up there for this game. And here we have another underwater underground fortress. Again, very cool.
Sit down.
Comfy, Mr. Wilco?
Hey, what are you doing? Let me go, witch.
Shut up. Your whimpering sickens me. I'll teach you not to run out on me. Thorine is quite knowledgeable in the ways of torture. I'll let the two of you get acquainted. Thorine, do your stuff.
With pleasure, Zandra.
Let me introduce you to a friend of mine. This is Epirip 357, the most powerful hand hair remover in the universe, and it's capable of shaving your legs clean off. I've always wanted to see a man shave with one of these, but I guess you'll do. Now you'll know the meaning of the word pain. Ah! It's a sea slug! Run, girls!
Okay. Now we're in trouble. So I'm just going to save it here because we're going to have a bit of fun. So I'll call this Matthew at Sea Slug. Now, let's just realize what just happened here. So they've strapped us to this chair, and then Zondra's basically come out and had a bit of a monologue with a hand hair remover. For those of you that are a bit younger, you probably wouldn't get the reference, but for the older generation who's seen Dirty Harry, that is a dead ringer ripoff of when Dirty Harry says this is the 44 Magnum handgun, the most powerful gun in the world. Instead of that, they've replaced it with the 357 hand hair remover, capable of shaving your legs clean off. Which, again, as a kid, I didn't actually get because I'd never seen Dirty Harry. But as I got older, probably about 13 or 14 years old when I'd seen it, the replay value became huge because I was picking up on a lot of these like inside jokes. But nonetheless, here we are. We're strapped to this chair. I've just got the cursor up the top here to pause it. We've got to get out of this situation somehow. Now, I'm just going to let it play its course and see what happens. So, you can see here.
You are in a crude, state-of-the-art sea cave.
Okay.
We're glad you could play Space Quest 4. As usual, you've been a real pantload.
Alright, so we're Sludge Vohauls. So doing nothing is not the key. Now the nice thing about the point-and-click interface in Space Quest 4 is because it was kind of the first one of Space Quest, they made it very easy to work out what to do here. So you can see there is this button thingy.
This switch activates a laser.
Okay, remember the laser took your leg pants thing off? So if we hit the laser button, it's obviously going to hurt the little thing here. Now, what have we got over to this side? We can see there's some gas cylinders. Let's grab a gas cylinder. Now, just for fun, I've never done this before, let's not throw the gas cylinder inside the sea slug. Let's just let it eat us with the gas cylinder in our hands. So we can see.
I'm sure the latex babes appreciate your sacrifice. Too bad you can't experience just how appreciative they are.
Classic. So we can see the gas cylinder's the right idea. It blows up when he eats it. So we've obviously got to let the gas cylinder go. Alright. Press the little zappy things. Grab a gas cylinder. So this time,
It would.
we'll actually click it on the slug.
Our hero!
Wasn't he great, girls? Well, Raj, I guess we can call it even. Thank you for ridding our fortress of that slimy, awful sea slug. I know I can't blame you for backing out at the last minute. I guess I was a little overbearing. Sorry. Can we still be good friends?
Well, now, wait a minute. Let's talk about this.
No, Roger. You were right. You don't need to spare my feelings. It just wasn't meant to be. It's better this way. Well, girls, I feel like celebrating. Let's go shopping!
Meanwhile, back in Space Quest 12...
Well, what have we here?
This is the rebel scum we captured in the Space Quest 4 time sector. He had just aided Wilco in escaping. The readout on his time gun indicates that Wilco was successfully transported into this time sector as you feared.
That is no longer a concern. Wilco will surrender to us once he has learned we have captured his son. Then he will be destroyed once and for all.
Okay, so unbeknownst to us, we have a son in the future, and he's been captured by Vohaul. Again, a bit of Star Warsy vibe here. Luke, I am your father, Darth Vader stuff.
Sail!
Alright, so the girls go running away. As they do, notice they drop something.
It's an Autobox teller machine card.
Oh, it's an ATM card.
You pick up the ATM card.
Great. Now let's just do the old usual savage here. And we're going to call this one at Galleria. Alright, cool. Notice we came up an escalator, just for fun. If you go down the down escalator,
Boy, isn't it just like a sequel police cyborg to guard the main entrances and exits?
yep, so that's not the way to leave. Okay, so we're not going to escape that way. So let's have a look around the Galleria. Now this is your classic, actually we'll go to the right. This is our classic sort of late 80s, early 90s Americana shopping mall experience. A little bit modified, it's got these kind of travelator things so you don't need to walk. And let's have a look, what do we got here in this store?
For some reason, there is a gathering here.
Okay, there's a gathering. What's this thing?
Wow, an Autobox teller machine.
Ooh, an ATM. We have an ATM card. Let's see what happens when we put it in. But first,
an Autobox teller machine card.
Notice how it has a picture of a rather attractive blonde girl on there.
You obviously don't resemble a blonde woman. What a surprise.
Okay, so this thing uses facial recognition to work. So we're not going to get any money out of there yet. Here we have a classic. We have a...
It's very pleasant looking.
Very pleasant looking Radio Shock, a dandy company. Two guesses what that is supposed to stand for. So that's kind of a play on Radio Shack, a tandy company. Sierra actually got in a bit of trouble for that, and they changed it in later patched versions of the game to Hertz So Good, HZ for Hertz. But nonetheless, it's still in this version, which is kind of funny. Alright, here we have a monolith burger. You remember these from my Space Quest 3 playthrough?
Monolith Burger, the only fast food chain to survive the infamous food wars.
Okay. Let's go into Monolith Burger.
No shirt, no shoes, no service.
Okay, no shirt, no shoes, no service. So, unfortunately, we are a bit out of luck there because we have no pants.
The sign reads, Big and Tall.
Okay, so big and tall. Sounds like a clothing company, if I've ever heard of one. Let's head in here. See if we can score ourselves some new strides.
Pardon me, sir. You appear to be in dire need of my services.
Yes, I am.
Let me know if there is anything I can get for you.
Well, yes, I need some strides.
I'm sorry, I lost my boots and the legs of my pants in a deadly fight with a giant sea slug, which I won in the nick of time with my clever thinking and my, cleverness.
I see. Well, all right. Let me get your measurements. We've got just the thing for the likes of you. I assume you will be wanting something in the generic Space Hero line? These will do for you. Try them on in the dressing room here if you wish.
You change your clothes, not forgetting the items in your pocket. You never know when you'll need them. You step out looking good as new.
Outstanding.
That will be 20 buckazoids, please.
Alright, so we've got a new pair of strides and some boots. And if we have a look at our buckazoid supply, luckily we've got 59, so we have a little bit to spare. And we can pay this gentleman.
Thank you so much for shopping with us, sir. Do come back soon.
Okay. Let's do a bit of a save here. Call this one Matthew with strides. Alright. So now we can get into Monolith Burger if nothing else, which is kind of useful. Before we do that, let's have a look to see what else is around the galleria here. So we got the classic.
Why, it's Buckazoid Bill's Arcade and Sushi Bar.
We got the classic arcade, which was still popular in the early 90s. We were going to go in there, but just not yet.
This is Socks, a high-class, high-priced dress shop.
Okay, so this is a dress shop. Now, are you thinking what I'm thinking here? We don't resemble a blonde woman. What happens if we dressed up in drag? Let's find out.
Hiya, hun. I'm Maybot, fashion consultant to the Cosmos. What can we, do with you today?
Well, this is kinda hard to explain.
Oh, let me guess. You want something for someone very special. Someone who died to get the latest in high galactic fashion. Are we right, or are we right?
We're right.
Okay. What size does she take?
Oh, 38.
Oh, I don't think we're right about that.
I'm not sure, but she's built about like me.
Is she? A likely story. Good thing for you, I can keep a secret, sweetie.
So, here we go. Roger's put 2 and 2 together, and he's worked out if we get a dress, maybe even a wig, we can fool the ATM machine.
I'm sure this will suit that special someone's needs. It's all the rage. I suppose you'll want to try it on now. Here, use this dressing room. And honey, if your special someone needs a wig, this one should look pretty good on you. Very lovely, honey. It's made for you. Would you like us to wrap it up? Or would that special someone prefer you to wear it home?
I think I'll wear it home.
Just what we thought. That will be 60 buckazoids, sicko.
Okay, so that'll be 60 buckazoids. Now remember before we went and bought the strides, we had 59, so we were always going to be one short. And now we've only got, I think it's going to be around my mouse to work here. I'm actually using an authentic ball mouse as well. So now we've only got 39 buckazoids, so we can't afford it. I think if you try and pay...
Are you in need of an auditory exam or what? Pay up, pal.
Classic. Okay, so let's just save it here as Matthew with not enough money. I think I might walk out. Let's see what happens.
You should know by now that you can't just take things without paying for them.
Thought the robot might, like, shoot me or something. Let's just restore it. I think the proper way of doing this is to actually go back in the dressing room.
Quickly changing your clothes, you emerge in your space guy wardrobe.
Okay. So we got a point for that. Now, we need money. So, where are we going to get money from here? Well...
Thanks for shopping at Saks.
The arcade is not a casino, so we can't use that. I'm just going to try and get to this thing before the dude hits us. Oh, no. Okay. We're going with the flow. The arcade's no good, because it's not a casino. What else have we got? We've got the other clothing shop. Not really a lead there. But there's only one other place we haven't actually been into. Oh, besides the software shop. But again, that's going to come up later. The one other place we couldn't get into was Monolith Burger. So, same thing with Radio Shack. There's not going to be a lot doing there. And that comes up later. But let's try the old Monolith and see what's happening.
Yeah?
So, notice the poster at the back here.
This is just one of over 2.5 million Monolith Burger franchises scattered around the known universes.
Can I taste stuff in here?
Sucking on a bottle of mustard doesn't seem to satisfy your hunger. Sucking on a bottle of ketchup doesn't seem to satisfy your hunger no matter what the government thinks. Maybe it would be unwise to order a bacon burger.
Okay. It says help wanted.
There is no reply.
I'd like
We're out of it. We're out of everything, including employees.
Okay, I'm just going to save it here as well because we have an option coming up. So let's call this one Matthew Monolith. So if we talk to the guy again...
Would you like to apply for a job?
He asks us if we like a job. Sure, I'm hard up for cash.
You would, huh? Well, this is the greatest opportunity you've ever had, kid. Benefits up the wazoo, and if you stick with me half an hour or so, I'll make you my assistant manager. Now, how would you like that?
Gee, thanks.
Warning, the following sequence contains explicit arcade action and is not recommended for die-hard adventure players, the arcade squeamish, or those with poor to non-existent motor skills.
I love the last bit. Or those with poor to non-existent motor skills. Okay, so let me at it, just for fun.
This is so easy, a human could probably do it. Burger comes out of the oven. Drop on your lettuce, your pickle, squeeze on your mayo, squirt on your mustard, on goes your ketchup, top it off with your sesame seed bun. You make 'em my way, and if you mess up enough times, you're out of here. Got it? If you need to know how to run the assembly line, read the sign. Just click it with the mouse or press R.
Alright, so we got to do it his way. So we have lettuce, a pickle. We then have, what is that? Mayo, mustard, ketchup, and then a bun lid. So if we make it with any of these ingredients missing, it will not work. And this little reject sign at the top is going to light up, which we're going to see in a few minutes, no doubt. So now you can see we get paid $1 per burger. If you remember correctly, we've got 39 Buckazoids in our pocket, and we need 60 Buckazoids for the dress. So we need to make 21 Buckazoids at a minimum. Now, if you clicked out on Wimp Out, but can I have the money anyway, I think it gives you exactly 21 Buckazoids or something like that. But we're just going to see this through, and we can have a little bit of a chat while this is happening, because this is going to be a bit boring. So again, production line's just going to keep going here. What makes it difficult is it will get faster as time goes along, but at the moment this is quite dull. Those people that kind of played this as a part of a game pack called Nick's Picks may remember there is a series of keystrokes you can do, and it works in Space Quest 4 or Space Quest 10, whatever you want to call this at the moment, where you can kind of go from like lettuce to pickle to ketchup to blah blah blah, just using the keys. But I'm not that adept at doing it, so I'm just going to use the mouse, and hopefully that'll get me far enough along that we will get to 21 Buckazoids. Now I just mentioned Nick's Picks. Nick's Picks were a series of arcadey type games pulled out from various Sierra titles. I think in this one they pulled out this burger simulator. And they also pulled out Astro Chicken. Let's try and eat this burger.
Hey, this belongs to someone else.
Oh, can't do that.
I taste like crunchy toe jam sauteed in vinegar.
Okay.
I'm lettuce. I taste like an old leaf. Okay?
I never knew you could do this.
They almost taste fresh.
Classic. Okay, let's wait till the next burger comes along. And let's have a look at the others.
Some people think I taste oily. I don't think so. Do you?
Go ahead. Take a big lick, old Mr. Mustard. You'll be sorry.
I'm the best little condiment you ever tasted. You know I am, really. I'm not kidding, I am.
Classic.
Don't bother. I'm really quite bland.
Pungent, eh?
Yeah, that's right. No smell. Better no smell than a bad one.
I smell like any other set of 299-year-old buns.
I'm the pickle. I smell like vinegar on a spring morning.
Get your nose off me. What do I look like? A nostril mat?
Oh, there you go. I absolutely, to this day, hand on heart, never knew you could do that. As a kid, when I played through, I didn't really use the taste or the smell icon very much. I kind of enjoyed it more for the serious side of the game. But that's a nice little side note. Okay, as we can see, the production line is starting to speed up here a little bit, but nothing too crazy. We've made 7 burgers successfully so far, which is great. And we're just going to keep on chugging away here. So, as I mentioned earlier, we're playing this on a 486 DX280, which is the very first computer I built. It was not the very first computer I used, but I think I might have been 8 or 9 years old. I actually, with my dad, of course, went and bought the parts and we put it together. And this was actually my computer for
can't-
quite a lot of time. I think I had it for about 3 years before I replaced it with a... would have been a Pentium... No, it wasn't a Pentium because they were expensive. I think it was a Cyrix PR200. Something like that. It was an absolutely awful computer. Had a lot of faults with it because the CPU was actually bad. And I used to have a lot of those... Not quite, well, blue screen of death was some of it, but a lot of those illegal exception has occurred dialogues in Windows. But yeah, so this computer was built in, I'm going to say 1994. And I reckon I used it right up until about 1996, give or take. It might have actually even been 93 or 92. I built it so long ago I can barely remember. But I certainly do remember the experience of having my own PC in my own room.
You can't do...
And can play games whenever I wanted. Okay, so that's enough about the computer. As for some more Space Quest talk, Space Quest 4, released in 1991, came after Space Quest 3. Groundbreaking in terms of the graphics for Space Quest, because we now have the 256 color high res, which gives us that huge bump in realism, which, again, as a kid, I felt like this is as good as it could get. It was like being there in real life. But, like anything, technology moves on and things do improve. But even now playing it, this is still quite playable. The pixel art type genre has certainly taken off in the last, we're going to call it 5 years. And this just really embraces that pixel arty type feel. But it's the actual original. Alright, so we're up to $18, and oh dear, the burger production line has really sped up. So you can see I stuffed that one up. We now have a reject sign buzzing away here. So I think there's absolutely no way. I have very poor motor skills. Let's see if I can try the keyboard just for fun. I think enter selects and the arrow keys move. I think it's enter upside. Almost got it. So it's basically enter up, right arrow, enter up, right arrow. There we go. Oh, I think I got it. Yes! We got our $21. So old enter up, right arrow. That's not as hard as I thought it would be. Oh, okay. Now it is. Alright. So you can see when we hit $22, it just gets crazy fast. So let's just let these sing on by. And eventually, like the boss said, if we screw up too many times, we're out of here. A lot of people are getting some empty cartons just with the base of a bun and some beef. So I'm guessing they're not going to be too happy with me. It does make me feel like a burger now though. Man, I thought you didn't have to screw up this many times. Oh.
You're fired! My janitor could do a better job than you could.
Classic. I always loved the way it would like scoot you out on your butt, literally like sliding you out the door. And he also threw something which donged us in the head. Now, we noticed it kind of go careening down here on the little walkway travelator thing. Let's go find what that actually was, because it is important for the progression in the game. So it should just be down here at the end of the travelator. And what is this thing?
It's a cigar, but not much more than a butt.
Alright, so it's a cigar.
You retrieve the cigar butt.
Alright. That may come in handy. So I can confirm it definitely will come in handy later on. So now we have in our bindle, I believe, 62 Buckazoids. 61, sorry. That's right, I only went 1 Buckazoid over what I needed. So now we can afford the dress. Let's go and purchase it.
Hiya, hun. I'm Maybot, fashion consultant for the Cosmos. What can we, do with you today?
Well, this is kinda hard to explain.
Oh, let me guess.
So it looks like
You
we got
want
the
something
same
for someone
dialogue.
very Are we? Okay. Is
Alright, so that was the same dialogue as we had before. I half thought it might just kind of, you know, say, oh, I'm back, I've got enough cash for the dress this time. Normally when I play this, if I'm just playing it, because
I'm sure this will suit that special someone's needs. It's all the rage.
normally when I'm playing it, I know that I need the money before the dress, so I'll just go.
Oh, you want to try it on now. Here, use this dressing room.
Alright, now we can talk. So I just go through and I get the money from Monolith first, and then I come here when I've got it.
And honey, if your special someone needs a wig, this one should look pretty good on you. Very lovely, honey. It's made for you. Would you like us to wrap it up? Or would that special someone prefer you to wear it home?
I think I'll wear it home.
Just what we thought. That will be 60 buckazoids, sicko.
Okay.
Appreciate it, hun.
There we go. So now we have the dress. So let's do a savage. Matthew, ooh, that kind of spoils what's coming up. Address. Alright.
Thanks for shopping at Saks.
Now, like most of the time with Space Quest, you have kind of a limited idea of what you want to do, so, you know, we want to defeat Vohaul. But as to how to get there, it's kind of pretty random. So, you know, the ATM machine's there, let's go get some money out of it. I don't know what I need the money for, no clue whatsoever. But nonetheless, we are going to get it and then use it to our advantage. So let's try to scan our ATM card this time. So please select an option, balance, withdraw funds, or done. Balance. So we have 2,001 buckazoids. Let's try and do a withdrawal. I love how we have one option, clean it out. Heck yeah. Your account balance is now 0. Done. Okay, so we are now 2,001 buckazoids richer, so we have 2,002 buckazoids. Now, the trick to this is, I always wondered if you could just stay in drag like almost infinitely in this game and just, you know, play it through. I believe the answer is no, because there's a couple of things.
Sorry, but the crowd completely cleaned out my stock of Sierra software. The only thing that's left is boring home and business application software, along with a few inferior games. But feel free to look around anyway. If you're here to return something, forget it. We have a strict no returns policy. I'd like to help you out, guy, but you know how corporations are.
Okay, so the little moose dudes basically said, we've sold out of quality Sierra software, classic. But all that's left is some inferior titles and stuff in the bargain bin. So let's have a look at this.
A bargain bin containing discount software.
Alright, so we've got some discount software. So this is always fun to go through. So you can sort of pick these things up and move them and kind of have a look around. But let's go through and let's just see what we've got here.
Presenting the latest in the award-winning King's Quest series from the still active mind of aging Roberta Williams III, latest in the award-winning Roberta Williams series. What happens when Old Man Graham and his family are kicked out of Daventry Condo Association? You'll meet the fabulous Bernoulli brothers, Professor C.D. Romberg, and of course Rumpelstiltskin, over 12 gigabytes in length.
Alright, so this is the classic. So, if you've watched my King's Quest 1 playthrough on the Mac, which if you haven't, I really highly encourage you to, King's Quest 1 had this awful puzzle where you had to guess the name of this gnome, and it was like Rumpelstiltskin backwards, but with like some alternate alphabet or some really complicated thing. So that was the Rumpelstiltskin thing in the end. The other thing is, obviously this is way in the future, so it's now King's Quest. What have you got? 10, 20, 30, 40, 5, 6, 7, 8... I think it's, yeah, what was that? I think that's 8, yeah. Something like that, anyway. It's King's Quest a lot. The quest for disk space. So let's see what the price is. Only 2,012 buckazoids. Ugh, bit pricey. So let's resume our looking around.
The latest bomb from master storyteller Maury Brianarty, Boom, is a post-Holocaust adventure set in post-Holocaust America after the Holocaust. Neutron bombs have eradicated all life, leaving only you to wander through the wreckage. No other characters, no conflict, no puzzles, no chance of dying, and no interface make this the easiest to finish game yet. Just boot it up and watch it explode.
Alright, so this one's a little bit of a dig at LucasArts games. So, I haven't played any through on this channel, but it's definitely in the plan. LucasArts also made a lot, or I think they call them LucasArts or Lucasfilm or something like that. They made a lot of adventure games, and a few of them include Monkey Island and all the spin-offs from Monkey Island. There was also Full Throttle, which I think came out a little bit later. Indiana Jones, a few things like that. The trick to them was you could never die. That's why it said, like, you know, no possibility of death. The other trick to them is that there was a game called Loom that they released, which also had a really weird interface for its time, and you played like musical tunes on a loom to do stuff. And I actually never played Loom all the way through, so I'm not 100% sure exactly what's involved, but it was a weird game, and that's why I never really played it. But they've kind of played on this, calling it Boom. No interface, no possibility of dying, no characters, just to kind of, I don't know, stick the knife in, have a bit of a laugh. But if you look down here at the bottom, sort of where I'm looking here, notice how that looks precariously like Lucasfilm, like you would have seen at the start of Indiana Jones or something. But, yeah, what's the price? 2004, bit pricey. Could technically go to Monolith, work a bit more and make that 4 buckazoids up, but not the point of the game. So, let's resume. Let's get them out of the way.
It's here at last, with a combination of SAI, Simulated Artificial Intelligence, and VRAI, Virtually Real Artificial Intelligence. We at Max This Software have created a simulated simulator experience that's unlike anything you've ever simulated playing before. With SimSim, you can create a simulated environment in which you can create any simulated environment you want.
This one, you've probably guessed, is a classic takeoff of Maxis's software SimCity. Even like this decor thing here looks very much remarkably like the SimCity box that Maxis had for the original SimCity. But I love how they've played on it. SimSim, the simulation simulator that simulates a simulator of a simulator, and it kind of iteratively and goes through and through and through. What's the price of that? 2009. Bit pricey. Let's resume.
Keep your...
Oops. Get you out of the way. It's a little bit tricky to get these to move around. There's King's Quest.
From the folks who brought you Astro Chicken. When it comes to stimulating chickens, Chuck Egger is the expert. And now you can learn from him. Design the chicken of your choice. Over 40 options including lips, no lips, and laying frequency. And take your creation for a wild ride over real barnyard scenery based on an authentic flight model of a chicken. You're in for a peck of fun now.
So that one is a play on Chuck Yeager's Flight Simulator from back in the day. Also 2009 buckazoids, bit pricey.
Didn't find anything you like.
Wrong button.
A bargain.
I meant to click resume. Alright, so let's have a look at this one.
Following closely on the heels of his hit tic-tac-toe construction set, Phil Fudge does it again. Using a simple point-and-click interface, you construct the checkerboard of your dreams. Fill in an 8x8 grid with squares of your choice, red or black, in any arrangement, as long as it's alternating. Don't like it? Erase it and start all over again. Requires MCGA, CGA, VGA, PGA, or ta-ra-ra-boom-GA.
Another classic. I love it. It's just construct a grid in any pattern you like with red and black as long as it's alternating. So this one is a Scumsoft title, 2017 Buckazoids. Also a little pricey.
It's the newest in the wacky Jaime Lipschitz series. Jaime, son of a wealthy New York furrier, has gone wild with Dad's frequent flyer vouchers again. Can you track Jaime down and bring him home to meet the girl Mom's picked out for him? Hold on to your yarmulke. Yes, Jaime Lipschitz strikes again. 640K, Ronald MT32, and 3.5 circumcision required.
Oh, that is a classic. So that one is a play on Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. And who really cares? You can see that Brodebund released Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego originally, but they've changed to Brodebuns and there's like a picture of a butt. That's pretty funny. 2011 Buckazoids. Let's resume. Now you can sort of see as we get down the bottom of the pile, there's something here that might be useful.
Formerly entitled Heroes Flyer, this is the flight simulator you've been waiting for. Tired of flight simulators that load and run? Still looking for a sim that really crashes? Featuring a stunning 3D-filled polygon, Stunt Flyer will have you going through the roof the moment you get it home.
I love how that says a shaded polygon or a filled polygon. And a flight simulator that really crashes, as in the software crashes. 2015 Buckazoids, again a bit pricey.
Head for the hills, it's coming, and this time it's hungry. It Came for Dessert is a thrilling action-adventure in which a mob of pushy, overweight relatives invade your kitchen. Armed with only a Jell-O mold and a pastry bag, you must repel the invaders, always keeping an eye on your blood sugar level. It's the merriest mix-up since Enemaware's fabulous Defender of the Crown Rib Roast.
So that one is a play on It Came from the Desert, which is pretty funny. 2011 Buckazoids. Alright, now we're down to the last... I think it's one more just down here in the corner, possibly?
Imagine a character so offensive, so sexually inept, and so lame-brained that you just can't wait to step into his shoes. That's Dacron Danny, first in the Sahara Off-Ramp's new educational series of true-life adventures from the team of How Low Can You Go? Learn how others see you. Dacron Danny, your computer guide to your inner self.
Okay, classic. So that one's a play on Leisure Suit Larry being Dacron Danny. Another classic Sierra title. 2012 Buckazoids. Let's resume. But you can sort of see here, Space Quest 4 hint book.
The two guys from Andromeda's latest sci-fi comedy, Space Quest 4, will give you hours of frustration unless you have this hint book. Want to know how to get the dog into the hanging basket? Want to find out how to attach the melon? Buy this hint book and it all becomes obvious. You'll hit your head and say, boy, how stupid could I have been? A moron could have figured this out. I must be a real dimwit, a pathetic nimno, a wretched, idiotic excuse for a human being not to have figured out these simple puzzles in the first place. Try it and see.
Okay, classic. That one might actually be useful. It's only 5 Buckazoids as well. Let's keep that one. Alright.
I see you've made a selection from our box of slop, bargain bin.
That I have.
Thank you.
Alright, so now we have got a hint book. So Matthew with hint book. So looking at all those things isn't important for the game, obviously, but man, they've packed some comedy gold into this absolutely, not ridiculous, but absolutely like out there, playing with trademark infringement Space Quest stuff. Alright, so now, as fun as it is to keep walking around in the drag, I believe that the next sequence that's required, so it's basically we need to go and play an arcade game for quite some time. I think what happens if you stay in the drag, and again this is an older memory, the sequence won't play out properly and the sequel police, which are supposed to turn up, won't turn up. But just for fun, let's just see if they do. So normally what you do is you play Astro Chicken here, and then you walk around the back, and then the sequel police kind of show up at this landing pad. But technically speaking, I don't think you need to play Astro Chicken at all. You can just walk around the back and they'll turn up. And that hasn't happened, so I think I am remembering correctly that you cannot be in drag for this part. So let's go back to Sarks and get changed. There's one other thing I remember. I don't know if I can do it. You used to be able to dance with these girls. Let's see if I can figure that out really quickly.
Let's boogie, girls! I sure know how to bust a move.
Oh, classic. Didn't remember it being that easy. I think I must have been trying it last time when I was just in regular space clothes. Classic. Okay. Back to the main game at hand.
As you change your clothes, you think to yourself that even in drag, you still have incredible animal magnetism. Or is that just a lack of deodorant?
Always love that one. Classic. Alright. Back to the arcade.
Thanks for shopping at Saks.
I don't think we get a refund on the dress when we return it. But I must admit I've never looked. No, we don't. Now the other funny thing is, notice we've got 1,997 Buckazoids to spare. We do need that money later on. I can't remember if 1,997 is actually enough, but we'll worry about that when we come to it. But for now, let's step into the arcade. Let's have a look around.
The dead fish in the sushi bar machine appear to have been dead far longer than they were fish. The sushi bar was not one of Buckazoid Bill's greatest ideas.
Ew.
It needs salt. It tastes like nothing you'd ever want to put your tongue on again. Gazing at the wastebasket, your impulse, nay, your very instinct, nay, the very fibers of your being, scream out for you to pick up that garbage. But you're too busy.
Classic.
Watching this fine youngster brings back fond memories of your youth. Little did you know that all those hours of playing blazin' paddles were in preparation for being a space guy hero type. You resist those inbred custodial tendencies to collect garbage. You have much more important garbage to tend to.
True. Alright.
The sign says Ms. Astro Chicken. How strange that nobody is playing it.
So, how many viewers have watched my Space Quest 3 playthrough? Well, even if you haven't, it's arcade. Astro Chicken featured in Space Quest 3, which was like a land game. But for this one, they've improved it a little bit. And this is actually now kind of a arcadey drop eggs on thing game. Now, the trick to this is, these like fencing things are chicken wire. If you get the chicken wire, that's great, because that stops foxes from eating you. You can lay eggs by pressing the enter key on either dogs or these farmer type people. The foxes, these flying foxes here, should still be avoided because, technically speaking, the chicken wire only lasts, I think, something like 3 hits from a fox, maybe 2. Likewise, if you don't lay an egg on the dog or the thing... Oh, there's a plane. This is fun. So, if you fly into a plane, you get chopped up in the propeller. Little aside there. But yeah, if you let the dog catch you, or if you let the farm with the shotgun shoot you, obviously you lose a life. And the chicken wire isn't really going to help at that point, nor it did with the plane. So the idea of this game is just to kind of like fly along like this. It's a bit of a side scroller, it just scrolls by itself. You can move backwards and forwards with the arrow keys and up and down and whatnot. The idea is to get maximum score, which is 300. If you hit the windmill, that's also kind of funny. I might do that later on. You kind of burst into a heap of feathers. But the idea is to get to your chicken coop, and that needs a score of 300. Now, if you play this game absolutely to death, and I mean for like 20 minutes straight, you can actually overheat the machine in the game, and it kind of like burns out the circuits and you see a heap of like sparks coming out, which is kind of fun. Whoa, that was close. I think for this playthrough I'm not going to do it because it literally takes 30 straight minutes of just brutal, you know, playing. And even if you get to 300, it doesn't really make any difference. It's all of a time thing. You have to play it for a set time, not just get a set score. So I might actually at this point as well kind of put this in fast motion because I don't want to bore everyone watching this to tears. And I might come back when we get right near the 300 mark. Okay, so we are creeping up on the magical 300 score. So all we got to do is just take out a couple more farmers and dogs, and we should be able to get back to our hen house. So 3 more points. This dog should do it. Actually, points, funnily enough, on this game are based more on hang time of the eggs. There's 300. And 335, because we had a few eggs spare. The cock. Congratulations in achieving the coveted rank of Corn Weezer. You have won the Pulitzer Prize. 5x7x gives you 35 bonus points. Nice. Okay, so we're just going to do another save here. We'll just replace our ad arcade. Now, what I'm going to do now is against my better judgment, but I'm just going to play this through for about half an hour and see if I can blow up the machine.
Whoa! This game's circuits have melted into a mass of molten silicon. But the fireworks were pretty.
Okay, so we have blown up the game after many, many, many plays. So, I don't think you need to actually do this, because at the end of the day, you can just do what I'm about to do next, which is walk around the back. So let's call this Matthew after blown up machine. I believe as long as you play it once, and you're not in drag, you can walk around the back here. And oh no. These dudes mean business. So we're just going to casually walk around here, not create any fuss. And the way to evade them is never to go to the entrance, because they're waiting there for you. Notice Saks is now closed, as of a number of businesses have. But we're going to use, so I need to be on this side, the skating rink to our advantage. So I'm just going to save it here because there is a small chance that I stuff this up. So this is a 0G skating rink. Now we haven't got any shoes on, and the Skaterama doesn't really work too well without shoes, but you can kind of swim around here. And the trick is we want to swim up. That gets us out of the range of fire. We swim across. It's kind of a two-halved orb because you've got like a basically a semicircle we work in. So you can see Monolith and Radio Shock over there. And if we float back in this direction, you can see there's the arcade. Now the trick is, because we're out of range, sequel police have to come up and find us. There they are. So now if I quickly get out of here, you can see the recoil on his gun kind of blows him away. If I quickly get out of here, we can double back on them and quickly go to the arcade, and we're going to steal their time pod. Now if you stuff up, you just basically get shot, and then you just have another go. It's not terrible. But once you get to the time pod and you get inside, you are safe. Awesome. Now just looking at the time, if I exclude the massive amounts of playthrough I just did there on Astro Chicken, it looks like it's been about 35-45 minutes, something like that. So I think this is a good point to break it off for part 2. I want to thank you so much for watching the playthrough of Space Quest 4. I really do appreciate it. If you're enjoying the content and you really want to support the channel and it doesn't cost you a thing, please just give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out and help the channel to grow. And again, if you're enjoying this content, check out my other videos and maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks again so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Later.